Hello, it's Mrs. Reynolds, and I would like to just talk you through pupil premium provision at Crossflatts Primary School. You may have heard of pupil premium before. The government allocates all schools a sum of money which is called the Pupil Premium Grant. It is intended to improve the educational outcomes for particular students within 3 groups. These groups are students entitled to free school meals, those who have a parent in the armed services, and those in local authority care. It's important to note that free school meals is not inclusive of the universal free school meals which all children under 7 are entitled to. As of today, our school has 75 children entitled to the Pupil Premium Grant. This changes regularly. By regularly, I mean weekly, and this is particularly noticeable in the current climate, where many of our families are facing changing economic and financial circumstances. On our school website, you will find our Pupil Premium strategy, which includes our intent. At Crossflatts, we aim to ensure equity for all of our children, including our pupils identified as disadvantaged, are entitled to the Pupil Premium Grant. Our provision intends to meet the varying needs of our children and families, and therefore the diet for our children is extremely bespoke. It depends on their specific requirements. Provision for our children and families are identified following a forensic diagnostic assessment by our staff and in collaboration with families. You might wonder why this is important. The idea of the pupil premium funding is to close the gap for the disadvantaged children and ensure that they can catch up and keep up with their peers. These are just a few headlines that appeared post-COVID. You can see that children who are identified as disadvantaged or who access the Pupil Premium Grant have been negatively affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. For example, disadvantaged pupils in Bradford fall further behind classmates during pandemic. Education gap widens for disadvantaged secondary school kids. School closures during COVID have severely ruptured the social skills of the poorest children. I'm going to explain now how we use our Pupil Premium Grant and how we make decisions on what to spend that Pupil Premium Grant on. One way that we help inform our decisions is by using current and up-to-date research. This graphic from the EEF formed part of the outcome of their research into how best to help our Pupil Premium children and help to accelerate their learning. They believe that 50% of our focus should be on high-quality teaching, with 25% on targeted academic support, and the remaining 25% on wider strategies to support our children. The first and most important way, then, that we serve our children identified as disadvantaged or accessing the Pupil Premium Grant is through high-quality teaching, or also known as quality first teaching. We ensure quality first teaching by providing appropriate CPD for our staff through staff meetings, in-house training, external training providers. We ensure regular monitoring so that we can identify areas in need of support. We have a favourable adult-to-pupil ratio, and we all know that enhancing the life chances of our children is everyone's responsibility. Our staff are well supported to remove the barriers to our children's learning. All of this is underpinned by a very deliberate and very carefully planned curriculum. Where our children continue to need support beyond the quality first teaching, we then look at targeted academic support. Through regular assessment, we can provide bespoke interventions to accelerate our pupils' learning. We also take part in the National Tutoring Programme, and we have very carefully managed deployment of support staff and one-to-ones. All of these things help us to accelerate our children's learning and ensure that everybody can access the curriculum. We now move on to the wider strategies. These are quite often the things that we do that go beyond the classroom and beyond the academic to enhance a child's life experiences. These are just a few of the things that we have in place at our school to support our children. We take them on trips and visits and give them experiences of the wider world that they might not otherwise have. Our character and culture curriculum is developed to ensure strong personal development for all of our children. We work closely with families. We have an excellent pastoral support in place. We have breakfast, after school and extracurricular clubs, and we also offer support with uniform for our children identified as disadvantaged or who access the Pupil Premium Grant. Our Pupil Premium Grant has also been utilised in the support, training and assessment of our 2 school dog mentors, Monty and Watson. Monty and Watson have been a delightful addition to the Crossflatts family and have been extremely well received by our children and the families. You can find more information about them on our school website. Something else we do at school that's really important is Money Week. This is our annual week dedicated to developing the financial understanding, competency and responsibility of our children. This is always a great success and receives lots of support. We're also able to offer our children experiences like this. the plumber drummer who came into school and captivated our children with his incredible musical talent. Something we're really conscious of at our school is raising the aspirations of our children. We do this in a number of ways, including inviting visitors into our school to talk to our children about their careers and how they got to where they are today. This helps our children to understand what is available to them beyond the academic world. Through a huge array of trips and visits, our children experience the wider world. We take them to places up and down the country in our locality and beyond to enhance their life experiences. Above all, our vision and values apply to all of our children, inclusive of our children identified as disadvantaged and who access the Pupil Premium Grant. Come as you are and leave at your best. We are a family who learn how to flourish and then fly high. If you would like any further information about Pupil Premium at Crossflatts Primary School, please email me directly. laura.reynolds@crossflatts.bradford.sch.uk